everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I run a small business that sells handmade crochet items for moms and their little babes. Today I'm going to be doing my long-awaited market recap. I had my first market yesterday and it was everything more than I thought it would be, honestly. It was so great. I had so much fun doing it and I definitely now have the itch to do more. If you are thinking about doing markets, I highly recommend it. It's so nice just to get to talk to people, have people actually see your items in person, touch them, feel them, tell you how great everything is, stuff like that. So it's definitely something I would recommend to any maker. I think it's so beneficial for your business. You can make a good amount of money doing it, and I learned that yesterday because this event was pretty small. And so I feel like if I went to a bigger event, I could definitely sell a lot more. So anyway, I'm gonna get into everything. First, I wanna talk about like the day. So the market started at 9 a.m. I got there at 8. We originally had a spot and she put us right next to another crocheter. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was like, this is kind of odd to put me right next to another crochet artist. The other lady went and said something and said, hey, let's not put two crochet people next to each other. So I ended up getting moved and I got moved to a pretty good location. I got moved to right at the entrance, which is really awesome. And I was able to fit my pegboard, which I was really worried about because it was only an 8x6 space. So I had a 6-foot table and I was just worried it was gonna be so tight and that I was gonna impede on other people's space and make them upset. And it all looked amazing. I'll put a clip of it here, but absolutely amazing setup. My setup time was super fast, which was awesome. My dad came to help me, but I was actually at the market by myself for majority of it. Which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And then once the market started, I had a big influx of people, a bunch of kids just grabbing all my items, which I thought was really awesome. Then there were lulls. So basically it would be really busy for about 15 minutes and then it was like an hour of just kind of sitting there. Every once in a while someone would walk by my booth and then it would be like another 15 minutes of a bunch of people. And that was because I was doing it at a Catholic church. So there were mass times. So anytime a mass service would get out, it was a Sunday too. Everyone would come in and look at all of our stuff. So that is why I feel like this was kind of a smaller market. I think people were there for church and the market part was an afterthought. So we'll get into that when I talk about my sales and kind of what didn't sell. But I feel like my market, if I was somewhere else, probably I could have sold a lot more. But I'm still really happy with what I sold. Like, I'm very proud of myself. I think I did really well for what I did sell. So I'm gonna talk kind of about like what I learned through this whole thing, and that was bring more mid-sized items. I did not bring a lot of small items. I relied a lot on my snugglers to sell, which, newsflash, spoiler alert, I did not sell a lot of snugglers. Those were my higher priced items, and I just think people were not looking to spend $40 on a crochet item at this market. And so I think if I brought more $20 items, I would have sold a lot more. And then my next thing is to bring a more variety of items. As I was looking at my table, I realized I brought a lot of girl stuff. Purses, hair clips, even my little snugglers were girly. I had a lot of Della Ducks. I had a couple bears, but they sold within the first couple hours. So I didn't have much left. But yeah, I wish I would have brought more boy items. I don't have a girl, so I just like to crochet girl things, but I definitely need to be more mindful of that. Making more boy items that are small, because I do have a lot of snugglers that are for boys. I just didn't have a lot of mid-sized or small items for boys. So that was definitely something that I learned. Make sure all my QR codes are working. I had my little connect thing and it was connected to my milkshake, but I guess that does not work with QR codes. So anytime someone scanned it, it didn't work. And it actually took about a few people before someone said, hey, your QR code's not working. And my brain was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even test it. So that's like such a common sense thing, but make sure you test all your QR codes if you're using those, especially like for payment and everything, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Next is make your small items reachable. I had most of my small items closest to me, so I feel like a lot of the kids couldn't grab them. Like my hatching chicks were really up high, so I didn't sell a ton of hatching chicks, which I was shocked about. I should have made the small items more reachable for children. Next is bring 2 people with you. I was by myself and I didn't realize, oh, like I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom, or maybe I wanna take a little break and walk around. I was getting pretty restless. I guess I didn't realize how long 5 hours really is, like sitting there, and it's kind of a long time, especially when there's lulls in traffic and foot traffic, and it's not steady. It's just kind of sitting there for about an hour doing nothing. And so I also didn't want to be on my phone to look like I wasn't interested in being there. So it was kind of hard. Another thing is I wish I would have brought small items to work on to crochet as I was there. I brought a blanket to crochet, which is fine. You don't have to bring as much yarn, but I think next time I would bring like some white yarn and some hatching chick yarn and make more hatching chicks or make more pipsqueaks, because that's what I was selling. So that is something that I really think I should have done. And then not every market will have your clientele, and that is okay. What I was hoping would sell did not sell at this market. I was hoping to sell a lot of snugglers. I sold 1 snuggler. And my dad even said this. He said, Erin, you were at a church. People were not going there to buy handmade goods. People were at church, and the market was kind of an afterthought. And so that kind of helped me realize, yeah, I need to be doing events where people are coming there to shop for handmade things, because then those people will want to spend money on the more higher ticket items. But like I said, I still did pretty good for what I did sell. Next, I'm going to go through everything I sold. I had 15 sales, which I know does not sound like a lot, but I had people buy like multiple things and everything, so I feel like it ended up adding up. The first thing I sold was at like the very beginning of the market. A girl came and bought my 2 gingerbread from Neutral Knots and my Yeti from Love Knots, which was really exciting. She first bought the gingerbread and the Yeti, and then she came back and bought the other gingerbread. So I was really, really happy about that. That was a pretty large sale. They were $35 each. And then someone came and bought my BK crochet bear, my itty basils, or they bought 1 itty basil. So I definitely next market am gonna make more of those, because I totally sold out of my itty basil bears. Then I had these adorable little girls come to my table, and they were grabbing everything. They were like, oh my gosh, I want this, I want this. They really wanted my ballerinas. My ballerinas were priced at $30. I ended up lowering them toward the end of the market to $28, just to see if people would be more willing to buy them, because everyone was touching them, everyone like loved them, but no one was like pulling the trigger and buying them. So the little girls loved my ballerinas, but the mom saw the price and was like, no, we're not buying those today. But she did end up buying 4 of my Reagan Biddy bags, which was awesome. She bought 1 for each of her daughters and then 1 for someone else, I think her other daughter. And then they bought 3 of my pipsqueaks. So they bought 2 of my penguins. Sorry, I'm looking down because I have notes. They bought 2 of my penguins and 1 of my gingerbread man, and it was so cute. They put them in their little purse and were carrying them around the market for like the rest of the show, which was super duper cute. And that was my largest sale of the day. That was $110. Then I sold 1 of my duck rattles, or it's my cuddle critters, but I made them into rattles, to this little girl. She was really excited about it. She wanted it so bad that they had to walk away for a minute, and I was like, I'm gonna hold on to it for you, I promise. And then they ended up coming back and purchasing, which was really awesome. Then I sold another itty basil. That was my last one, and that was kind of the mid-size item I had for boys, so that was what sold really fast, just because people needed like a gender neutral item or an item for a boy. And then I sold Adela Duck. This one, I think she was gonna end up taking the headband off because it is for her nephew, and she really liked ducks, and I didn't have any other duck items. Then a vendor came and bought another one of my Della ducks. These were my baby Dellas, by the way, not my full-size Dellas. So I sell those Dellas for $25 each. So I sold that and that. And then I sold a dinosaur snuggler to another vendor. I sold that for $40. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people were looking to spend $40 on a crochet item this time around. They loved my display. They loved my snugglers on the pegboard, but no one ever like pulled the trigger on it. I think they looked at the price and kind of were like, what? And walked away. I started explaining to people that my snugglers were heirloom quality and like meant for your child to snuggle. It's meant to be the stuffed animal for your child. And that's kind of why they are priced like that. Still didn't buy anything, but I did sell one, which was awesome. I sold another rattle, a cow, and then I sold a pipsqueak reindeer to an adorable little boy. And then I sold a hatching chick. I finally sold a hatching chick, which was crazy that it took that long. It took to the end of the show for someone to buy one. I thought those were gonna sell out and I only sold one. So that was kind of surprising. And then I sold one set of hair bows and one rattle, and I forget which rattle she bought. That's everything I sold. My booth fee was $25 at this event, so it was not that much, which I thought was a good starting event to do just in case nothing sold. I wouldn't lose too much money because a lot of markets in my area, I live in California, so everything is so expensive here. Market fees in my area can be $100 to $150 for like an 8x6 space. So this was a great little starter to try markets out, see if I really enjoyed them. So the booth fee was $25. Average sales were $30.80 per sale. And then I had $248 of cash, $214 of card, which was shocking. I was shocked that people were buying more with cash than with card. My total gross sales were $462. So my goal was to do $500. I was like, I'll be okay if I make $300 to $400. So I surpassed what I was like okay making. And my total profit after my fees, after my booth fee, and then my credit card fees were $6.46. So after all of that, my total profit was $430.54. Like I said, my goal was to do 500, so I didn't quite hit that, but I did do like right under it. So I'm just really happy with myself because that's how much I sold without selling a single snuggler. And snugglers were kind of my bread and butter. They were what I had the most of. So the fact that I didn't have much mid to small items and I still did $430 was really encouraging to me, that if I do a market that people do want snugglers, I'm gonna do very well. And it was just so nice to get out there and talk to people and get to know people in my community. That was another really fun thing about this event. I loved it. But yeah, I would definitely do a market again. This kind of gave me the itch to do more. So I'm really, really excited for the next market that I do. Anyway, that was my market recap. I'm sorry if it was really short. I didn't make too much in sales. I didn't make too many sales, so I don't have a lot to tell you guys. But I really enjoy it. And like I said, if you are thinking of doing markets and you are a maker, do them. They are the best. I had so much fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more. And I will see you guys in my next video. Love you.